And what I'd like to do is just be able to provide some real basic lessons from basic information on the guitar to learning how to play and everything. So let's get with it right away. This is going to be the first installment of a series that we would do. First of all, the first thing I want to talk about is choosing the right guitar. If you're a grown person, a large, man, your hands are a little bit larger, let's say, than a lady's hands, and sometimes ladies need a little bit smaller or thinner neck guitar. This happens to be a guitar with a nut of 1 11/16. By the way, let's talk about the guitar just a little bit. This is a Gibson CL35. It's one of my little babies I love. I'm going to hit another light here. Just hang on a sec here. Kind of put some more light on the subject. And this is CL35, beautiful little guitar. I've had this for a number of years. It's got beautiful tone. It is a dreadnought body style in that it is quite a bit larger body, a little bit wider and deeper. This is talking about the basics of the guitar. This is the nut of the guitar. The strings rest upon the nuts and they stretch all the way down here to the saddle. The saddle is a piece of bone that actually sits on top of the bridge in a slot on top of the bridge. As you can see, the strings are held in by bridge pins, and these bridge pins are necessary to keep the strings in place so they don't slip up, or and if the bridge pins fit your guitar properly, they won't pop out when you tighten the strings. But I've had guitars where the bridge pins didn't fit the bridge properly, and when you tightened up a string, these old bridge pins would pop out and sometimes go clear across the other side of the room. And so it's just nice to have the right equipment on your guitar. This is a dreadnought guitar. I have a couple other guitars I'll show you, and this next guitar that I want to show you is an OM style orchestra. Let's see, what is OM? All of a sudden now I'm drawing a blank. This is a Martin OM 35, anyway, I can't think of what OM. I say it all the time, and now I'm totally drawing a blank. This is a little bit different kind of guitar. It's a smaller body. It's a little narrower. The nut width on this guitar is wider than my previous guitar. This is a 1 3/4 inch nut width, which gives a little bit more spacing between the strings, which allows someone with a larger hand to be able to position their fingers. If their fingers are a little fatter than usual, they can get right in there without touching the other strings. And besides that, it does provide a nice spacing in between the strings down here by the saddle, by the bridge. So if you do finger picking, you have plenty of room there to pick those strings individually. And so this is a very nice guitar as well. It's a little bit on the high end in terms of a beginner buying a guitar like this. You wouldn't expect a beginner to buy a guitar of the caliber of either of the two last guitars I showed. However, I have one here that might be within the ballpark of a beginner, and it's very good. I highly recommend it. And this guitar here is a Crafter guitar. Crafter, this is an OM body style guitar, or triple aught, as some would refer. This is still a wide nut down here. wider than the first guitar I showed you. This has got beautiful tone. The necks on these are beautiful, beautiful necks, white binding around the neck. This happens to have a lot of beautiful abalone around the body of the guitar. Actually, it's got a signature by Tommy Emmanuel and his little trust symbol right there at the bottom too. And so this is kind of a prized guitar, but you would be surprised how much I paid for this guitar. I only paid about $300 for this guitar, but it is one of my best playing guitars in all my lineup, whether I have a $2,500 to $3,000 guitar or a $300 guitar. This guitar originally list price is about $689. It usually sells in the store for about $500, and I picked it up on eBay for $300 in almost like new condition. So, but it does a very good job, and I really enjoy playing with it. Let's talk a little bit about the fingerboard. The fingerboard of the guitar is a very important part of the guitar. There's 14 frets. Frets are individual little raised wires that they put hammered in wires into the fretboard, which when you push the string down, it catches the string and it causes the string to vibrate from that point all the way down to the nut, or excuse me, the saddle of the guitar. So, okay. The sound hole of the guitar is there to project the sound, which really helps, and it's nice to have that projection happen. So you might ask, what's the best guitar for you? Something certainly you can afford. Something that you can easily chord. When it comes to chording, you'll want to find a guitar, like if you have large fingers, you'll want something with a little bit larger neck, like a 1 3/4 inch nut width. If you have a smaller hand, perhaps you're, say, about 10 years old and you're just starting out, then you certainly probably want a narrower nut width, something like a 1 11/16 width guitar, something that's a little bit has a shallower profile on the neck. There are some necks that you can buy that are called they're more like vintage V style necks, and they actually kind of come back to a slight point back here. And this is one of the guitars that has a nice low profile on the neck, and it feels very, very nice. It's easy to chord on this neck. And so another thing is tuning. When you think about the different methods of tuning, one thing I use is a simple device called a vibrating tuner. It picks up the vibrations on the neck, and what I do is I attach this tuner on the end of the neck like so, and then I'm going to turn it on, and you notice there's a little green light, and then there's an orange light, and when I hit the sound of, or the E sound, I'm going to tune it until it's green. When it's green, then that's an indicator that the guitar, that particular string is in tune. Now we'll go to the next. There we go. Our A string is in tune. Now our D string or fourth string, it's already in tune. How about our G string? G is in tune. B is already in tune. And my high E is already in tune as well. And then once you have your guitar in tune with an electronic tuner, that doesn't necessarily mean that your guitar is going to be in perfect tune. You may want to tweak that a little bit. There's a couple ways to tune your guitar. If you don't happen to have an electronic tuner, you can certainly tune by ear and match match up, even on this video, you can match up tune for tune. Like as we go right down through these, you can match up and tune exactly as you hear it. And then you can do what's called a 5th fret tuning. If you press down on the 6th string, it should be the 5th string below it should be the same. Okay? And then we go to the 5th string and push down on the 5th string on the 5th fret, and then the 4th string should be that tune. Same thing, 4th string, 3rd string. And now when we come to the 3rd string and 2nd string, we're going to change 1 fret because of the way the guitar is tuned in standard tuning demands that you drop it a half step right here. So instead of on the 5th fret, we're going down to the 4th fret. And now we're going to go to back to the 5th fret on the 2nd string and then the 1st string. Okay. There's another way to tune the guitar that I use, and that is through a harmonic method. And I'm going to try to do that very quickly. I don't want to spend a lot of time with that, but that is if you take and do a harmonic on the 6th and then play the E string down here open, it should be the same. And you can make an adjustment accordingly. Okay, so now that these 2 strings, the 1st string and the 6th string, are in tune with each other, the other remaining 4 strings we're going to tune up through by doing a harmonic on the 12th fret and then coming down to the 2nd fret. So we're going to harmonic on the 12th, and now we're going to play the 4th string on the 2nd fret. If that's not perfectly in tune, we want to make a fine adjustment. There we go. And now to double check if I want to do the 5th string, I can harmonic on the 12th, 6th string harmonic, and now play the 5th string on the 7th fret. Okay, so now all 3 of these strings are going to be the same tune from this basic harmonic. Now we can do the same thing with the A and come up here to the G string or the 3rd string, 2nd fret. Make a slight adjustment. 7th fret on the 4th string. Okay, now we're going to go the 3rd string and the 2nd string. Excuse me, 4th string, 2nd string. Harmonic on the 4th, strike the 2nd. On the 3rd fret, we're going to change the fret because the standard tuning demands we have to make that adjustment. And that should be perfect tune. This guitar is in perfect tune. Okay, there's our basics. We're gonna stop it here and let you kind of work on some of these things, and now after this video you'll want to go to the second video, lesson 2. Thank you.